My name is Ashanti Payne. I'm the Assistant Director in the Office of Equity and Equal Opportunity at the Metropolitan Council. And my co-chair is Tyler Bishop from Minnesota Department of Human Rights. In place of doing a roll call, we will do attendance by the attendees in this online meeting. I don't see anybody who's participating by phone, so we should be able to capture everyone's name. You should have all received the handouts prior to the meeting, but these are also posted on the project website at swlrt.org. And at this time, I will turn it over to the co-chair, Tyler.
Thanks, Shanti. Want to just take a moment and ask if anybody who had a chance to review the meeting minutes has any edits to let us know about, or any changes that they would like made and reflected in the prior minutes. Okay, hearing none. If you do come across any edits or changes that you'd like reflected, please just either let myself or Ashanti know of those, and we can make sure that that gets updated. If there are no edits or comments to be made, then we can move into the project update. See, James, are you giving that?
I could, or Nick, would you prefer to?
Or Nick?
No, you can go.
I'm happy. What's that? I'm happy.
You can go ahead.
All right, sounds good. All right, Jason, here's a project office update. Thanks, everybody. It's nice to be with you all again. I'll go through some of these slides quickly. You can see some of the ongoing recent construction, pedestrian walkway, West Lake Street Station. As you know, there's a vertical circulator on both sides. It's coming along well right to the south of the Kenilworth Tunnel. And a big, obviously a really important milestone for us, completing the structural completion of that tunnel. And you can see now there's some finishing of the concrete walls on the west portal of that tunnel in Minneapolis. And then, of course, following the structural completion, there's waterproof installation. And Nick, I don't know how far we are toward. What's the next step after this? Have they already filled it? Can you see it still, or?
No, it's backfilled.
It's all backfilled. Wow.
Backfilled with, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I drove over the bridge. I thought I saw that. Next one, Jason. And then again, this actually captured that final structural concrete pour there at CW 121 on the left, and then of course on the right as they're smoothing it out and finishing it. Now, Nick, I also think, of course, all those braces going across, have they all been removed throughout the whole tunnel?
Yeah, supportive excavation is removed, and it's been cut down to its final placement.
So the supportive excavation on both sides of the wall here, you can see on the left, that's all been trimmed to its final level?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a lot. Amazing. All right, so again, this is the process leading up to that work that's been ongoing, the backfill you can see here, and then the whaler removers, which are those braces across the middle, across the tunnel. And they've been up for, what, 5 or 6 years, I think. Next slide, Jason. Okay, this exciting slide. This is our HRSF, the rail support facility out in Hopkins. They've got it all excavated, and I believe this summer you'll start to see a structure emerge out of that in Hopkins near the Shady Oak Station off 5th and K-Tel. Next slide, Jason. And of course, I've got a couple systems slides in here. I'm sure our systems friend will continue to elaborate on that, but we just threw a couple slides in here. Opus Station, you can see the OCS wires, then the 5th and K-Tel interlocking slide track. Messenger contact wire, continuing to pull those. And then same area, you can see the gate arm installations and testings going on. And then finally, the final photo here is a Wooddale Avenue station. They continue to work on the variable message sign installation. And that is a general project update. A lot of progress. Thank you. Any questions on any of those slides of the progress? All right. Thank you, John. Thank you, Shante.
Yes. Thanks, James and Nick. All right, the DBE report was sent out for review and are included in the handouts. And as I mentioned before, are available on the page. Now I'm going to turn it over to John to cover DBE achievements.
Thank you. All right, John Tao here, and this slide is just a summary of the construction contracts, and the handouts have been sent out. I want to give some gratitude to Barb for pointing out an error that I had made on the report. So I updated that error, and then I sent it out with the presentation, the most updated DBE report. Yeah, the Hopkins Rail Support Facility is progressing along. They are still under the goal, but then still following through with commitment based on the conversations we've had with them and the DBEs participating. I think we can hear more about some of the challenges that they've had a little bit later. And then for the civil and systems, that's still progressing forward. I think the civil contractor will share more about the timeline for the civil contract a little bit in their update, but here's the achievement for DBEs as of February 28th. I see Elaine has a hand up.
You're on mute if you're talking, Elaine. Okay. Let's move forward,
sorry,
John.
I couldn't figure out how to unmute myself. Sorry.
Yeah.
Should that be 2025 and not 2024 up at the top?
You are correct.
Okay.
I'm not the only one that does that.
Okay, that was it. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. And I believe that is all I have for the DBE progress update.
Any other questions for John? All right. Next, we can move on to non-consent business and civil systems and Hopkins Rail Support Facility. And we'll begin with Krista.
Great. Thanks, Ashante. And thanks for the DBE percentage updates. You know, like John said, you saw our numbers up there, 23.6 is, we're going to be holding, it will be above 20%. And then just to do a shout out to Shaw Lundquist, they only just started the project. So of course they're going to be falling short because they haven't started really getting invoices from DBs that haven't even been on the project yet. So great job, Connie. But anyways, currently you guys, you can see from the difference from 2 months ago to now, workforce, DBEs, contractors there, everybody are out in full force almost. We have doubled who's out there for our DBEs. We have E&J, Gunner, MBE, PWS, Reiner, Stonebrook, and Safety Signs are all on site. There were a couple others we could have added to this one too, such as All Phase was just out there recently also. So working hard and heavy on their parts of the project. And if you could go to the next one, please. The tracking report on companies finishing up their scopes of work has not changed still since January. And actually, we won't be seeing any really big changes until July on. Everybody, the contractors will be finishing up their scopes and everything by November, with punch list items remaining after that. But as we start seeing people's workforce on the project, come to an end, you'll start seeing some changes in the report, and then we will be reviewing that report in this meeting along with attachments to go with it. Does anybody have any questions about that part of it? Because keeping still on this slide, I do want to bring up the one thing we are, starting with being on the tail end of the project with starting our closeout processes, payments, making sure we have everything we need and everything like that. One of the conversations has been—
Are you on the phone? Are you
one of the
listening to something?
conversations has been about, like trucking participation. And I just want to clarify, when it comes to trucking participation on a heavy highway project, it's different than, say, on a vertical. 60% is the DBE programs participation for trucking companies that bring product to a job site, drop off, and leave the job site. They're not providing a construction service in the project. But there are also on highway heavy projects, trucking companies that are in the project moving the construction project from place to place. That part of trucking is 100% participation. So we will be really paying attention to, as we're closing out, that whole what are we counting and not counting. So we will be working with closely with the council on that to make sure that it's being paid correctly and also tracked correctly. If not, any other questions on this, on the overall DBE picture, just to let you know, we are continuing working very closely with some of our DBEs, some of the businesses that do need more of a one-on-one help with getting them to where they need to be on the project. Otherwise, that's it for DBE. Go to the next. And we will move on to workforce. And the next slide, please. Okay, project workforce participation. To date, we are just under 4 million workforce hours. We are at 19% POCI participation from the start of the project to the end of March, 6% female participation. We are looking at the number that we've been looking at pretty steady across the board for the last couple of years. But again, like we highlighted last time, is the month to month. So our hours of participation, because participation at 28% and female participation at 2.5%. We are still in some of those trades that we showed you the graphs on. There are 6 trades that are still exceeding the goal. So if you would like to go to the next slide, please. Oh, I didn't put it in. I thought I did the trade by trade. Sorry about that. But we do have 6 trades, the major trades that are exceeding that 32% goal, including the hours that have doubled. So it's great to see. Our activities have been very strong the last 2 months. We just did a quick synopsis of what those things looked like. We had the Women in Construction Week, which included our great Rosie's and Robbie's Roundtable. We attended the Laborers Annual Career Fair, and I gave you some numbers here. There were over 500 people in attendance. We received and accepted at that event over 100 applications. We did call, and now remember, these are just the laborers. And this is Lunda and LMJV working together on this one. We did call back 10 of the applicants. And to my knowledge, as of today, we have hired 3 of those, with one of them going to be on the light rail project. So that was nice information to be able to have and track. We've done diverse perspectives training. It's a piece that we launched about 5 years ago, where quarterly we are working with Lunda, LMJV, and CS McCrossin, providing absolutely awesome training in regards to workforce. And our last one was probably our most dynamic and important one, and it's called Talk Saves Lives, which is focused around the suicide prevention within our construction industry. This launched what we will continue forward between now and the end of the project, and continue forward with both Lunda and CS McCrossin for our industry. We participated in Building Strong Communities mock interviews. I attended my first Workforce Leadership Council meeting that I am now a part of, and also I did my training for the Hennepin Carver County Workforce Development Board. The best piece, and it brings all of our projects, all of our contracts together, is just the other week we had our 2nd annual Bridge Tomorrow event that we hosted at the LMJB office, but we had the civil, systems, and maintenance facility individuals all involved in this, with junior achievement in South High School. We had presentations, we had speed careers where kids went from table to talk to different people in our industry, engineers, project managers, quality, accounting. Every aspect of our project was represented there. Then we had some hands-on fun stations, and ended it with a building of bridges competition. I did include pictures on the next slide for people to see. So if you would like to go over there, there's just a quick little view of the pictures. And I have many more I'd love to share, but I cannot put them on a screen like this or share them publicly. They are going to be property of South High School. But I tell you one thing, I can't say enough about all the great people within the LMJV and systems and maintenance facility project that pulled together and put on this amazing event for these kids. We've received a thank you note back from South High School that it just reiterates how great this event was. We touched the lives of some great individuals that are at the South High School that are on career pathways towards college. And it was really fun to see them light up when they saw what capabilities for their pathway could be. Any questions about what has happened? If not, let's go to that next slide, please. And it just shows what we have coming up. And I did leave it short and sweet because it's more just making everybody involved with our DWAC aware. We are, and yes, I've been saying it for some time now, but this is the final leg of the project. It's extremely bittersweet for all of us at the LMJV, meaning that this is our last season, our last year for the workforce on our project, except for punch list items. Most of our contractors will be done by or before November. We will be having punch list items. That will be the only remaining workforce needs. After that, we will be doing project closeout reports with our subcontractors, having them do a report for us, what the overall project, was for them and everything like that. We will also be doing our continued workforce outreach efforts. Do not quit. And Ashanti and I both 5 years ago talked about something like this. We are still creating and working with others regarding the footprints of our workforce development representing our light rail project, even though we are not hiring anymore. So including, as you can see, education, retention, advocacy. We will still be one of the strong leaders regarding that throughout the end. Any questions? If not, that's all I have for you today, guys.
Thanks, Krista. Any questions for Krista?
Thanks, Tyler.
If not, we can move to systems and Mr. Mike.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good to be with you. Spring day. Spring's here. It's lovely. All right. Just the normal stuff. We expect about average out, through the end of the year, about 8,000 craft hours laborers per month. To date on the project, through, the report that I have most current, I did today, middle of April. We got about 150,000 hours. Our overall POCI is 21.8%. Female participation is 9.7%. That's the overall where we stand. But as far as outreach events, APJV and Premier Electric participated at Summit Academies on Friday, March 21st. AP and Gunner, we participated in Junior Achievement Outreach with the Bridges Tomorrow, which had a great showing from a lot of different subcontractors, including Egan and North County Concrete, among others. So it was good to see. But in January and February, they were light. Hours were light for us, and they are what they are, about 2,800, 3,700. March, it goes up a little bit. April, we'll see where that it goes, but around that. So that's where we stand today for these 2 months. The next slide, please. Okay, and there's the breakdown. So mostly electricians. It's Aldridge, Premier, and Gunner, and a couple equipment operators with Aldridge and with Premier. We have a couple, so just a couple, and a few laborers. The DBEs that have worked on site during January and February, I think there were 4. I think we had Elite Fiber, we had Gunner, we had Stonebrook Fence, and those were the main ones. But just limited hours, so nothing substantial. But that's where we worked for January. The 2,800 hours. The next slide is February. And just pretty much the same thing, pretty consistent. And then I think that's all I have. I think that's the last of the slides that we have. And then we'll be participating in the advisory board for Summit Academy on May 14th. I'll be headed that to the advisory board for the electrical contractors they have program. So we'll do that. Any questions?
Great, thanks, Mike. Moving to Hopkins Light Rail and Connie and Shaw Lundquist.
Hey guys. All right, if you want to go to the next slide, please. Sorry, I've kind of lost my voice. This is just our DB commitments that I've shown every time. We, at the end of it, we should be at 18%. Next slide, please. Projected on-site waterproofing by experts on June 3rd. M360, their supplies delivered for Flynn Midwest on 6/30, and AW Painting November 5th. Some of these dates will move once we get a timeline on steel. Next slide, please. We haven't been on site for the past couple of months due to some waiting on steel and some new shop drawings, so we don't have any updated photos, sorry. Next slide. Next slide. Workforce participation. We're currently at 15% POCI and 6% female, with our overall goal being 22% POCI and 13% female. Next slide. Of those hours, we have, you can see the division between the POCI and Caucasian hours. Next slide. Of the hours that we've worked so far, 1,500 male, 98 female. Next slide. And this is just the trades that have been on site for a total of 98, well, I just said that, yeah. So 6% female and 14.8% POCI for all the labor on site. Next slide. We've had 0 subs on site since February and through March. No new work since December 23rd. We have been waiting on steel shops as well as review of the shops by the council. We're currently scheduled to start digging footings on 417. I tried to get an update on this to see if that happened. I haven't heard back from my superintendent, but I've been out sick a couple of days, but no message from him. And then pending our start date, we will hopefully be pouring footings on May 1st. I think that's what I have. Thank you. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Connie. At this point, we can move along to committee discussion. I'll turn it back to Ashanti, I suppose.
Can I go back to, I couldn't get my thing to unmute because my cursor wasn't working. Connie, I just have a question for you. Since you're waiting on steel, with all the tariffs that are going on right now and with the like Newlook and other steel manufacturers that are U.S. steel manufacturers raising their prices significantly, is that going to affect you on this project, or where are you at with that?
That's a really great question, Barb. I will have to get back to my team and get back to you on that.
I think we need to be really proactive. And Nick, if anyone's been talking to you about that on this project too, for this tail end stuff, we need to be watching that. We've been talking to DOT, et cetera, about escalation so that we don't get in the same kerfuffle that we were in during the pandemic. And this is a real thing that we're facing. The steel prices are just significantly raising in every week.
Yeah, let me, I'd be happy to check with my project manager on that and get back to you.
Yeah, I don't disagree. That's Nick. So
thanks, you guys.
All right. Committee discussion. Are there any topics that we like to talk, cover? Any committee members that want to discuss any topics? I know I missed the February meeting, but I just want to open the floor for any topics, conversations, follow-up, etc. Go ahead, Dr. Carter.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we could get a sort of like a summer event calendar, because some of these activities, maybe I'm not paying attention in that way, but I wish I had attended at least some of them, if not just to observe. So maybe like a 3-month summer calendar or something like that, so that we can be aware how we can schedule at least some of them into our calendar, and just to go there to lend support, things like that.
Yeah, we can try and figure out how we can do that and how to best do that. One thing too, I want to make sure, a lot of times, we send this out to a listserv. So one, I want to make sure that you're on that list to get notified. Because oftentimes this committee is used to forward information that might not even be a part of our planned agenda or focus, but because of the makeup of this committee and the subject matter experts, they forward us information to share through our networks. So that's one thing we need to make sure that you're included on that list when we are forwarded information to disseminate through our networks. And then to your original question, we will try and figure out what the best way to do or put together some sort of calendar or schedule of upcoming and ongoing events. And then, go ahead.
No, I just said thank you. I appreciate that because I think it's all about visibility, as you know, because the more we can go to events and just show support and show that, you know, we are behind the efforts, I think it just makes it better.
Agree. All right. We have Barb, and then after Barb, Dan.
Okay, so I just wanted to wrap up what I was just talking about with my question to Connie and with Nick, and just bring that back to all the discussions we've had about future projects and how I've, you know, kind of been always saying that change orders for the future for these pricing are going to occur. And again, we're looking at something like steel. That's something that's really going to be able to be pre-ordered and waited for. And small businesses, of course, aren't going to be able to stock or warehouse the items for the same without additional costs. So I just wanted to bring that back around, that here we are how many years later, and then we had the pandemic, and now we're in the same issue with a number of commodities. I'm hearing there's some electrical switches that are like that they can only get from a certain place that are all delayed, etc. So I just wanted to kind of like stamp it again. I don't know that there's room for discussion, but just remembering that this is out of everyone's control that's on this call right now, that this is happening. And with the discussions I've been in with the commissioner over at MnDOT, they're aware that we can't do anything about it. And the entity is, you know, originally it's easy to say, well, we do Made in America, that's part of the requirements here. But if American pricing is skyrocketing solely due to wanting to keep up with the greed and the profit margin to match what those tariffs are going to be, the only people that are going to lose are people that are doing business like this, where they're committed to a contract amount that can't be changed. So we need to keep watching that if we ever get funding for another light rail from the government.
Yes. One thing, I don't know if you have seen this, Barb. I just became aware of it. I haven't looked at it, but talking with MnDOT folks, apparently they have some resource where they had some experts come and talk to small businesses or do some sort of video. They've got something on their website relative to tariffs and as a resource to small businesses. Again, I haven't looked at it. Just curious as if you've seen it or are aware of it.
I have not. Thank you for that. I will check with them and see what I can find. Well, Skibby, you were on the phone call earlier, I think. Do you know what he's talking about? Is that a resource that could be shared out?
Is Sean on here? Sean? Mr. Skibby, there you go.
Sorry, I had trouble finding the mute button. I have not actually heard about that, Shanti, so I was hoping maybe you could send that to me. I didn't know we had that. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm surprised pleasantly. So, but I unfortunately don't have any more information than what you just shared.
Okay, it's not to derail, but Sean, maybe we could get that for that DBE committee coming up.
It was fair. Is it Ferris or what's her name?
Jairus.
Jairus, is it? Is that what it is? Jairus?
Jairus Cross.
Sure.
Okay.
That's who. I'm on a what is it? A Midwest small business committee that she's also participates in, and she just shared that with the group. She actually put a link in the chat, and I had pulled it up, but I just didn't watch it. Is all. So
okay.
Check with her, and
I will.
Yeah.
Guidance is key
Thanks
right
for
now.
that. Jairus is an OCR employee, so she's seen something I haven't, but she is our outreach coordinator. So this is an area where she is an expert. So I'll ask her about that. Ask her for the link. Do you want me to put it in the chat, Ashanti, or it sounds like you already had that? She already did that once.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, I thought I was looking to see if I had bookmarked it, but I couldn't find it right away. So, yeah.
Okay.
Well, Sean, if you can find that, I'd like to see it. Send it over to me, and that might be really helpful.
Sounds good. I will. Yeah.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Dan.
Thanks, Ashanti. So at our February meeting, we had a long, painful discussion about prompt payment. And I just wanted to take a moment to recognize the achievement that these contractors have done to get the DBE participation that they have on these projects. As Krista pointed out, over 20%, and I don't think that was highlighted enough at the last meeting, and I don't know if anything's come of the conversation around prompt payment, but it seemed like we were starting a little bit of a fishing expedition for a problem that may not exist. So hopefully people haven't spent a whole lot of time on that, but if you do have any updates or anybody has any updates on that, I'd be happy to see it. Also, just think, again, we should recognize that the achievement has been in excess of what we thought it would be. So thanks everybody for their hard work.
I appreciate that, Dan. That's representing the voice of the LMJV. We really do appreciate that. Thank you. I can give you our update from the LMJV. We did respond that we're standing where we are with reporting the way we have been and will continue. We are going within our contract, and we are working very diligently with all tiers of our subcontractors, first, second, and third, regarding the payment of our DBEs. So I appreciate it again.
I, for one, was not going to comment on it because this is a conversation that I would follow up with directly with LMJV. So I was hoping Dan's comment would stand on its own and we could move forward. But I'll just say, for one, I don't want this to be a compliance thing. I really don't. But I'm just going to leave it at, I will follow up with LMJV and the project office folks and leave it there.
If I could jump in for APJV, I think we honored John's request and we sent all the information for Pay App 41, and we didn't identify any late payments. And if we could publicly confirm that, John, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Yes, Mike, we did receive that. We reviewed that, and I can confirm that. I appreciate it and what you shared. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree that we don't need to belabor it. I think we spent way too much time talking about it last time, so let's move on.
All right, any announcements? I know Krista, you put something in the chat, I believe it was you. I would just like to ask you to verbalize that for folks who may be tuning in.
Why, thanks, Ashanti. I'd be happy to. And I actually, while I was putting it in the chat, because of the great question about upcoming activities and keeping you guys informed. And I will continue to do so. I love it. I did send an email with our flyer for an upcoming event next Tuesday. It is the 11th annual Minnesota Construction Crew, so we used to call it MinCon Crew, Construction Crew's Career Fair. This career fair started, like it says, 11 years ago during the crazy schedule of the state capitol, the Senate building, CHS Field, the St. Croix River Bridge, all of the great Ramsey County, you know, the eastern suburbs and St. Paul, major projects taking place at the same time. Ryan Companies, J.E. Dunn, and a few others, you know, I can name a bunch, and as well as our government representatives and our awesome union trade partners came together and started the MinCon Crew career/hiring fair. That has continued forward every year except for one during the pandemic, thanks to especially John O'Phelan and some others that have kept it going. So we do have our next one this year. It's being held Tuesday. The location has been changed for the first time. It is being held on the Minneapolis side of our lovely Twin Cities at the Laborers Building. The information is in the flyer that I did email out to everyone, and there's over 25 contractors and unions that'll be represented at this career fair. And each table gives a small donation to Construct Tomorrow to be a part of the fair. So it's also, not only is it a great career fair, but it's also a fundraiser for one of our state's best high school construction career awareness programs. So that's it for that one. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions on that for Krista? Thanks for sharing.
Thank you,
that, Krista. Rick.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Building Strong Communities is about to conclude the 2025 cohort next May 2nd. And we're excited that of the 127 who enrolled, I believe at this time 112 are going to complete. So we have 112 people excited to enter into the construction industry in all crafts. And so for all of you who may be looking for folks, please don't hesitate to call. We have a lot of people who have gone through 12 weeks of training at all of the different trades and are excited to enter into the industry. Some are already getting hired, and that's exciting. We have people that are 25 going into the electricians, 8 that are already confirmed into the iron workers. We have some people going to the laborers right now, that one going to McCrossin. And so it's pretty exciting. We have a couple of plumbers going to St. Paul and Minneapolis, and pretty fun times. Exciting time of the year for Building Strong Communities. And so, and it all doesn't happen without great partners. And I just want to mention thank you to Krista and Tracy, so LMJV and London Construction for supporting us during this time. We had a lot of great contractors, KA, McGough, Gardner, Menger, all provided some support along with Londa in different ways, mock interviews and site tours. But Krista and Tracy have been on our graduation ceremony committee, and I just wanted to say thank you for supporting us all the way through this program. It's been a fun 12 weeks, almost 12 weeks, and next Friday it all comes to conclusion. So if you have places for our folks, please. They have been through OSHA training and drug screen, and they're prepared and excited to enter into the workforce. So get in contact with me and I'll hook you up with a bunch of great candidates.
Thank you, Rick. Are there other ways for agencies like the Met Council or other folks, other agencies, entities, public entities? What's the best way for us to support this and help promote it and celebrate it.
Well, you know, for right now, the most immediate needs are placements for all the candidates. And so contractors who are, we're trying to, my goal is to bring the people who are in our cohort to a registered apprenticeship program. So connections to the contractors who are looking for, the subs who are looking for folks. And this is the beginning of the hiring season. So we want to get the people out in front of the contractors and get them interviews. Our goal is for each of our participants to apply to 5 to 10 contractors per week, hoping that, by the time they get to, 30 or 40, someone will already pick them up, and it's happening. So just an exposure to the different contractors and your contacts that are out there. Met Council, by the way, Aaron Koski is going to be our MC again this year. He's fantastic. He's a forever MC. So I'm really excited to have him on. But yeah, so just exposure to the contractors.
Okay. Yeah. If Aaron's involved, I'm sure, I think, don't quote me, but I believe Met Council has hired folks from, because we do hire some trades in within our environmental services division and others. I thought he told me at one time we have had some success in hiring at least a couple people. Could be wrong.
Yeah.
Don't quote me.
Yes.
Okay.
Someone did,
Awesome.
and Thomas Scott, who also is with Met Council, told me that they do have someone who just completed as an inspector, and is I don't know the exact, but yes, you're correct in saying that.
Great. Any other questions for Rick on building strong communities? Barb, go ahead.
Just because so many of you deal with people that are looking to get hired or just starting in the workplace, I just want to give a reminder that the AWC applications close for their scholarships next week on the 30th. So encourage females to apply that have not already. And I think we are right now at about 18 academic scholarships received, 8 apprentices, and about 7 trade schools. So we are definitely looking for more. We're hoping to give out $30,000 this year, putting us over the $300,000 mark since we started this program. So please send people to our website. It's pretty easy to find once you get there.
Thank you, Barb. Any other announcements? Things happening? All right. Tyler.
Thanks, Shanti. Moving on to public invitation. John, do we have anyone signed up?
No, we did not receive any emails or requests for public comments. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. This brings our April meeting to a close. Our next meeting date is June 26th, 2 to 4. This will be an in-person meeting. Looking forward to seeing some of you, not all of you. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you in person in June. And with that, we can adjourn. Have a good weekend, and if I don't talk to you before then, take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Ashanti. Tyler, thanks, guys.